Are we on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights. Cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
That's 8 minutes past 9 this morning here on Culture Daily, and you're also welcome back to the show if you took a breather as well. But that was music in there for us. And today being a Wednesday, it's our Woman Crush Wednesday. We're talking already about what the conversations we're going to be having this morning on the show, as you want to understand basic operations when it comes to telecommunications in that industry. Now, this was of not importance to a lot of us up until our internet was cut, and then we're asking all sorts of questions because we wanted to find out. And I keep saying that knowledge is power. So once you know and understand, then you can appreciate better. Again, it was nothing to us. We didn't really care about how, internet gets to us. As we started hearing about Sat1 and David 2 and Jonathan 4 and all the names that were coming up in there. Now you were asking, and did you even know that all these cables were running right beneath you? Did you know? Did you care about it? Until something cut the cables or distracted the flow of data to you, then you started asking questions. So we've taken upon ourselves this week to try and let us just educate ourselves, all of us, in the world of telecommunications and all these things, so that tomorrow when you are going somewhere, somebody's asking you about some of these questions, you can have something to say. You're not blinded completely in the dark about conversations when it comes to telecom services, specifically here in Ghana. We have quite a number of networks. Which one are you on? Some are boasting of better services. How is that possible if we are all on some cable and some are saying their cables are better than other cables? It never even struck me for a split second that all these telcos are feeding off services from these submarine, submarine cables. So how does one have a better submarine cable than the other, or service than the other? We need to understand all these things and how it works. Right down to your data consumption. I'm very sure in your offices you hear, or your phones you hear, or you see what has been allocated to you. Why are they selling it in this? What's causing, or what are the influences on the pricing of data? And all of that. We say, and then MTN is expensive, and Tigo is this, and MTN did and this, and Eto Tigo has done this, and Vodafone is this. Now Telecel, we're yet to bring their side of their services as well. So speaking to Vodafone services, all of these things, we want to understand it properly. This will not only better influence or educate you on where to be, how to be, or what to be on. Some of you have got multiple SIM cards all in one phone, and you shuttle through your real services. Do you even understand the services better? And even in the telcos, how do they run their operations in their offices? We want to understand this. Now, this morning we are honored because our very own CEO has spent years in this space, and of course she has a lot of knowledge when it comes to telecommunication operations, in that industry, just as when it comes to DTS, when it comes to deep throat source, he'll give you first-hand information on what's happening wherever. Anyway, so this morning we're honored to have our CEO, Madam Rash. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome, and thanks for joining us a second or third time on the show this year.
Yeah.
The second she started speaking about this, I said, Madam Rash, you are a guest on the show on Wednesday.
The next artwork we do for Madam Rash, we'll write OAP.
We have to write OAP. Definitely, no, you are right, Cyril. You are right. Don't forget to also brush your teeth morning and evening with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter. Now, just to fill you in on this real quickly, just give me 1 second to pull this out. So now they are selling it in various grams, so that means you don't have an excuse to say that it's too expensive or too affordable or it's too cheap. No, none of that. You can buy in various grams. There is the 175 gram, that's the family big pack. There's the 120 gram, the Ijakwa pack. There's 65 gram and 12 gram sachet.
There's what pack?
12 gram Ijakwa.
Oh.
Ejakwa pack. Ejakwa pack. It's important to brush your teeth morning and evening because food and sugars get trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay and gum disease, and in some cases foul breath. Okay, so you need to brush your teeth morning and evening with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter because it gives your teeth the protection they need, leaving you with 10 times stronger teeth. Now let's get into our conversation this morning, as I am eager as well. So this may have been reiterated several times, but let's just quickly touch on it to bring ourselves to an understanding of these power lines, so-called power lines that are fed from wherever that we don't know, and who owns it, and how it gets to us, and then who is distributing it. Yeah. So these names became very popular in the past few days. So we want to just get back to do a refresher on it, and then we can move on. So Narash, please tell us, what are these power lines?
Yeah. So I think first of all, thank you and good morning.
Yeah.
First of all, I'll start by talking about what we call an MNO. We have in telco, MNO.
I heard this word only for the first time.
Mobile network operator. Yeah, so in telco, we have two types of legs. So we have MNO. MNO is MNO becomes the likes of Telecel, the likes of MTN, Glo. I don't know whether Glo is still active in Ghana. Airtel Tigo. These are
so MNOs. This is not the space people by the roadside.
No.
Because
so
they're also mobile operators.
Yes, mobile. Then we have the ISPs, that's the internet service operators. So the difference between the two is MNOs are typical telcos. So when we say telco, they do everything telco. So they do voice, that is our mobile phones. They do mobile data, that is the data we get on our phones. Mi-Fi, then routers and all that. And they do enterprise, that's B2B, so selling to businesses. They being a business and selling to businesses. So that is where dedicated internet comes to play. So dedicated internet is when, for instance, you buy 100 meg. So, and the 100 meg is for you, it's allocated for you
100
from
megabytes.
your telco. 100 meg. So meaning
Please,
you get
is
100.
That a lot or is that small?
That's a lot. So it means that you are getting 100 megabytes at a time per second. So if you are trying to download a document right now and you are the only person in the room, you have 100 meg to play with. So you can download whatever document you are downloading using the speed of 100 meg. Or you can upload with 100 megabytes per sec. That is just you in a room.
Is that 100 meg shared?
No, that's dedicated. So this B2B. B2B is business to business. So I work in, for instance, as Telecel. Then I'm selling to you, Jay. So I'm selling to you dedicated internet because you are B2B. So we have small, medium enterprises. We have the larger enterprise. We have the multinationals. In telco, these are the branches that we sell to. So if I'm selling to a B2B, I don't sell shared. So shared most of the times is the one that they will give you. So let's say a loaf of bread has been placed in the middle here. Then the 6 of us have to fight and take part of that loaf of bread. That is shared.
So who are the people who are on shared?
So us individuals. So you see homes, they'll do broadband. Okay, so let me use the word broadband. Broadband is internet for homes. So it means that it's not dedicated. So if it is 5 meg, you should know that someone is also having 5 meg somewhere. Someone is having 2 meg. You are all feeding from one point. So that's why I'm using typically a loaf of bread. So we'll put a loaf of bread in a plate. Then we say the 6 of us, let's all fight and eat it. So the strongest survive. So the strongest is what medium of connectivity do you have?
The router.
That becomes maybe your router. That becomes maybe you have a fiber
TV.
connectivity. Good. You have a smart TV. Someone is not having smart. So the medium that you have will allow you to pool more resources or eat more. So if you are stronger, you have a bigger palm. Maybe you can pick a bigger chunk of, I can
Here
pick
in
maybe
case, a bigger router.
A bigger. No, so it's, what is in the router? Your router can be big, but the technology. I don't want to go into tech.
So it's the speed that matters.
Your head can be big, but
but there's nothing in it. So it depends on. Do you understand? So in telco, as we say, we have the undersea cables that normally we don't have any in Ghana. They all come from Europe. I know about the main one cable that comes from Portugal. I know of SAT3 also comes to Portugal as well. Come from Portugal.
So those are ISPs?
No, those are not. So those are the telcos. So they have. So if you are a telco, you don't necessarily have a cable. I don't want to mention names, but some of the telcos, that will even think they have cable. The big ones, they don't. So it's about 2 or 3 telcos in Ghana who have their own cables. And the cables
running from wherever
Europe,
dedicated to them
undersea.
Yeah.
So when it comes from the sea,
no names mentioned.
Yes, it comes to a cable landing station. So normally organizations who have their own cable have something we call a cable landing station. That is where the fiber lands.
Okay.
When it comes from undersea, it will come and land there. So when it lands there, that's where all the technologies are.
Please, I beg to ask, where is ours located? Our landing.
Hey, this information now.
Oh, I just want to know because I know, for example, you know. No. Hold on. One second.
She said
there's a satellite at.
Dedicated.
I'm coming.
So
there's a satellite at. The one that we all learn and play, the one on the way, the Shy Hills Road. What did they call it?
I don't know.
Oh, so this satellite. There's this main satellite that Ghana Meteo and Co have been using.
So there's a difference between satellite, that's a VSAT, and fiber.
Okay, so my point is that with regards to like Meteo information, it comes to this satellite. So I was just wondering where, because I've not come across.
So now the point is that our hours, I don't know whether we are taking it from
somewhere
another telco or it is coming solely to us as a country. That I don't want to go into it.
Okay, sure.
But every telco who has a fiber backbone or have their own cable dedicated to them, as I said, I can speak to SAT3 because I worked in Vodafone for years. I can speak to Main One because I worked in Main One for about 3.5 years. So I know they have their own cables. So they also in turn sell to other telcos as well. The fact that you are a telco doesn't
limit you to just
warrant that you can have your own cable. It's not small resources. So I know it's a number 3 or some 2 telcos who have the cable. But when it comes to their landing station, then they can now split it and sell to and allow other telcos to also utilize it.
Please let me ask, can a business, let's say J Fully Business Limited, tap directly from the landing sites without having to go through a telco?
No. You can't.
Is it the regulators?
So you see, fiber is a medium of connectivity.
Okay.
So there's internet there, but you need a medium to be able to access the internet.
Okay.
So we have different types of mediums of connectivity. We have fiber, we have radio, microwave radio. We have point to point. People do, we call something point to point. Maybe there's a radio here. It's a medium of connectivity. Okay. So these are the common ones we have in Ghana here.
Okay.
So if you have fiber, definitely the speed you are going to get will be better than me being on radio. Okay, so this is how it works. From the landing station, they can now sell or allow other businesses or telcos to feed from their fiber at a fee. Definitely not free.
Okay, yeah.
At a fee. So it fosters collaboration because all telcos cannot have their own cable. It's not possible.
Yeah, because of the resources, it's expensive.
Definitely. So you allow everybody to feed on it at a fee. So when that happens, and let's say company A comes, 3Music goes to, for instance, a telco and tell the telco, I want internet in my building. They'll ask you, what medium of connectivity do you prefer? Do you want fiber or you want radio? And definitely fiber is always way expensive compared to radio.
Radio is because of the possible maybe weather and all those things, the kind of connectivity it is.
Radio,
fiber is cable.
Fiber is either they dig underground
and bring it to you.
So let's say you are here, then you need fiber. We have something we call fiber pops.
Okay.
So when the fiber comes to the landing station, the telco will spend resources again
in building these
to pull them to pops.
Okay.
So maybe this is pop 1, pop 2, pop 3. So in future, if you come and say, I want internet, they will do something we call a feasibility. Then they'll check whether Lenny is closer to pop A, pop B, or pop C.
Okay.
So if Lenny is closer to pop C, what that means is that if there's no company or no customer tapping from that pop along Lenny's way, then they'll have to dig from the pop all the way to Lenny's site.
Okay.
That was then.
Okay.
So now we have something we call aerial fiber. So most of the telcos work with ECG, Gridco. You see that electricity poles, the fiber course is like an electric. So they'll pass it through the electrical cable and bring it to your site. So it has allowed fiber to be a little lower compared to some years back. Before some years back, there was nothing like aerial. It was all underground.
Yeah.
So if you need fiber, they would dig from one pop all the way to your site. So remember, with that, you have to go for permits. You have
Because
to, so it all adds up to the cost. So now, yes, even though still fiber is a little higher, but there are some areas that fiber and radio will be at par.
Okay.
Then you the person will decide which one you want, because radio comes with an additional cost of a tower or a monopole. So a monopole is you just getting something like this. That's what they use for a monopole. You see this pole at the top there.
So I know you can't see that, but there are these black poles that are light,
round poles that I think this galvanized pipes.
Yeah.
So they'll use that to, depending on your site. We call something line of sight.
Yeah.
So if the pops are built, then I want internet. They'll come and conduct the survey. Okay, so they'll climb. If I have a story building, they'll climb and check for something we call line of sight. The point I'm talking about.
To make sure they can see each other.
So they should be able to communicate with each other. That is the only way you can get the internet service. So with radio, you need a tower or a monopole. Sometimes you need about 50-meter tower. And when it becomes 50-meter, you can't do monopole. Normally, monopole is between 1 to 3 or 5 meter high. That's the one they can use it. But when you go past that one, then you need a proper tower.
That is the triangular one.
Yes, the proper telecom tower, like the one we have here, the radio tower. You need that one for them to install your radio, your outdoor on it, so it can communicate with the pop of the telco. So in recent times, a lot of people prefer fiber because fiber is far now a little cheaper than radio. Radio ideally would have been cheaper, but due to the monopole, the added cost makes it higher.
And you don't get good value.
You don't get good value for your money because fiber.
After all that, fiber will still be faster.
Fiber will still be faster.
But do you have to power these poles? Do they need any sort of electricity?
Yes, they will power it. Yes, there's a way to go about it. Yes, but it's safe.
That's a lot of.
It's normally safe, so it's expensive. So you can't entirely blame the telcos because of this processes they have to go through before they deliver quality service to you. So that becomes the first leg. So in operations, first you call a telco account manager or someone and said, "My name is Jay. I want internet in my home." That's the first leg of the operations. Then the technical team will be assigned to come to your location. So first of all, they'll ask, as years are going by, technology is becoming more savvy, so things are getting better. First, we'll have to come to your location, come do survey. But now they'll ask you for your location address. Yeah. So when you send your location address, they'll do something they call a desktop survey. The desktop survey is just checking between where you are and the nearest pop around you. So if they get the nearest pop around you, they can tell how much it will cost them to bring the service to your point. So when they bring the service to your point before other cost also comes in, maybe you need a Wi-Fi router, maybe you just want it straight with a LAN cable into your machine, then you handle that. But that's the first. I need internet. Whether you are an individual, you can't have fiber without going through a telco. Let me stress on that again. You need to go to a telco or an ISP. So an ISP, an internet service provider. Normally ISPs are smaller compared to telcos. ISPs don't do voice. If I say voice, ISPs don't do mobile. They don't have the license to do mobile.
Okay.
They only have the license to do pure data. So if I say pure data, it's internet based. So it's either your router, your MiFi, or your dedicated internet service. So let's not get confused. We have dedicated internet service. That's the service you need. And the medium of connectivity is the radio or the fiber. You need to be connected somehow.
Okay.
But which medium are they going to use it to carry the internet to your premise? That becomes a medium of connectivity.
Okay.
But what we need is the data or the internet.
Okay. Please, let me take us back before you come. Let me take us back to a few years ago, not a few, but many years ago, when internet was introduced to us. Now it was dial-up. How was that system working? Because now we had to dial to be connected and then all that, and how we've advanced to what it is now.
Yes. When it comes to Africa, for us, some of these technologies we follow, what our European partners normally introduce to us. So unless someone very technical who will be able to go into details and tell how dial-up works, but even as of today, we still have services whereby, let's say, call ISDN services that you can still get digital means from. So
those ones, were they also cables running down to us for us to pay?
In that time, we had only copper. That I can tell that time we have only copper cables.
Which was mostly telephone.
And they are always under, yes. So it's copper. That time it was solely copper that we had in Ghana until some years back. that we started having fiber and other cables. And the disadvantage about copper was that it was giving poor services. We all know how copper is. So when they stay in the chamber down there for a very long time, they start getting rotten. And the alumni guys also dig them out. Because if we are not aware, copper is what they used to do earrings for us. Most of the earrings is copper.
Your telephone.
So copper wasn't safe. Some of us think copper should have been cheaper, but no. Copper is very expensive. That is why they transitioned from moving from copper into fiber. Internet. And I believe it was Ghana Telecom and Busy Internet were the #1 people in Ghana who started
offering that
thing of services. So when it comes to dial-up, I don't know the technology, as I said, because I'm not a technical person, but it was being run on cable. And whatever you do, you need to run on some sort of a cable. But that time it was copper cables that were being used. It's now that we've transitioned from copper cables to fiber cables.
Okay, so you mentioned something about 100 megabytes and you know the shared service and all of that. Let's tackle that. Okay. So what is available to us regular everyday users of internet on our mobile phone? How much data is allocated to us for us to use? Because 100 meg now you're saying is a lot. And this is upload and download.
Yes, you get the same. Okay, so we have
capacity
two types.
Given to you.
So we have two types. They are all available to us. It depends on your pockets.
Okay.
And what you need it for.
Okay.
So normally in telco, we ask the question, what do you need it for? It always comes.
So for us, can we regularly...
So here, for instance, we can use shared service.
Okay.
Because we are an organization. You need a bulk capacity. So for instance, if it is dedicated, it's a bulk capacity. The telco or the ISP would deliver 100 meg to your server or your router in the building. When you check, normally you won't get 100 exactly because there's a movement. So maybe you get 90 something, but at least you have your 100. And when you get your 100, internally, you need to do your own sharing. When you have the 100 meg, you have, let's say, 50 staff of yours, or you have 60 staff. So you use your wireless router you connect the internet to it, then it becomes wireless for everybody to tap into it. That is your own form of sharing you are doing in-house. So there's no way I can get 100 meg to myself. No. Because if we are 50 in here, we'll all tap into that 100 meg.
Okay.
So even though 100 is a lot, it will get to a stage that you want to do something or download, you are not able to do because maybe another device is pulling more. Maybe someone is watching Netflix somewhere, and we all know. Or someone is on YouTube.
Someone, money.
Yes, maybe someone is on YouTube. And you see this whole YouTube, this social media thing consumes a lot.
Yeah.
You know why? Because there are a lot of activities happening. Whilst you are on your TikTok, something is happening. They are all pulling data. So you have 100 meg here, which is a lot, but it will not be sufficient for you if care is not taken, or if you don't install some firewalls to manage the capacities. So businesses is always ideal to go for the dedicated link. The dedicated link means that they are giving you, let's say, 50 meg, 100 meg, 20 meg, 10 meg to you alone. Then, because internally, you also do your own distribution.
Yeah.
Because if it's on a Wi-Fi wireless router, everybody will tap into it with a password. Then that's your own form of sharing. But if you're an individual, the telcos have their own technology, whereas they'll use to break it down to data, in gigs or megabytes or whatever. So if, depending on what you can pay, then you pay whatever you have to pay, then they will give you what you require. So you are paying for 10 meg shared. They will give you 10 meg shared.
Okay. So, Madam Rash, please, for us end users, regular, Cyril on his phone, me on my phone, how much of this, I don't know what to call it, speed megabyte, let me just for purpose of understanding,
data.
How much of it is allocated to us regulars, those who are holding our devices, not necessarily the company, individual, how much is allocated to us for us to use with internet?
It's not fixed. It depends, as I said, it depends on the device you have and what it can consume and what you have paid for. There's no way they'll give you an open pipe. If it was an open pipe, even an open pipe, then we have to check everybody's phone and tell how much you are consuming at a particular time. And it's not stagnant. You can be playing with one gig right now. Maybe in the next moment, you'll be doing over 1 gig. So data is not straightforward. It depends on in there, the telco will use their own technology to do slicing or splitting, they call it. So when that is done, you go in there, say, you go in there, oh, I want data. How much do you want? You say 110 cedis. They'll give you your 10 CD one. So if it's 700 meg or 70 meg, that is what you paid for. That's the only thing they'll give you. So they'll close. There's a cap. So we'll call it a cap in telco. So if it's 50 meg, you have a cap of 50 meg, meaning you can't do more than 50 meg. So when it comes to your device, you determine how you use it. So if it comes to your device and you decide to use all to play maybe game on your phone, within seconds you run off. Because of that cap that have been put over your data, it doesn't allow you. Just imagine you have water, you have some water in a cup and you've covered it. You can't go. You'll be there until that's your cap. So when it's done, you have to go and buy more. Then they'll give you another. So how you use it, it's entirely to you, the individual. It is difficult to tell how much somehow. You can only check on your device.
Okay.
Maybe you've been allocated 10 meg, then you check on your device to check how much are you really doing at that
Only just for your question, please, just a follow-up question. Just a follow-up. So not to downplay the internet that comes to Africa. Okay. But it is perceived that when you are outside of the country in certain Western countries, the internet is better. Yeah. But when you come here, it is you don't get that. Definitely. You know, it's then they always used to laugh at us. Yes. So I want to understand what are the disruptions in there.
Yeah, so definitely we can't be like the Europeans.
But it's the same cable coming to us. So are they giving us less of a cable?
It is what we are paying for. Do you understand? It all comes back to the cost. Do you get my point? It all boils back to what is the negotiations that the telco did with the telco or the undersea cable out there. What cable came in here? What do you understand? So it's not data is data. The point is that in Ghana, what our telcos do is that we check areas that will be lucrative and give us the revenue before we build network there.
Yeah.
You can be moving to a Bri, just on the Bri road. You get to a particular small town, there's nothing there. It's not working. Yes. Then you go to another town. Look, it's a cost. And you know that starting is that when they bring you the cable, whether you utilize it or not, you pay. That's the bit that we should know. So the telcos need to also make some revenue to pay for that cost. Let's not forget there are taxes as well that they have to also pay for. So the data is the same everywhere. Data is the same everywhere. But what you pay for is what you get.
So what? Adding to Madam Ras, data is data, and the question you're asking is not about the data quantity or cap. It's about the speed of transmission of the data. So remember, we went from E to 2G to 3G, blah, blah, blah. That's the speed of transmission of the technology. So that is what is better in America and Europe. Because there are places now you're even getting 4G plus, which is almost 5G. So what you are getting there, somebody with 10 megabytes in a place that's transmitting at that level, it's not the same 5 megabytes.
No. And just to add, it's the communication that our telcos give us here. We want them to be very clear, because a telco will tell you, we are 4G, hey, we are about to be 5G. Let's be honest. The 4G, are you even getting the 4G? But someone is announcing that 5G. Sometimes you connect to someone.
I'm on LTE on my network. What does that mean?
I've never gotten 4G before.
I'm on LTE on my network.
That's LTE. So the LTE is the 4G. LTE is 4G. But some people are telling us that they are almost 5G. I don't want to mention some telcos. There are some routers that when you get them, you see 5G. The truth is that, are you really getting 5G? Or it's just that you are seeing 5G there?
You're branding it.
So that is where our telcos have to tell us.
You were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to ask. She mentioned unlimited and cap and stuff like that. I think I wanted to find out if indeed, when you say you are buying unlimited data, you are giving
unlimited data.
Unlimited data. And what does it mean? Does it mean that you are...
don't read terms and conditions. That's
no, I mean, beyond that, I mean, I'm asking this for the benefit of those who often go for these data, packages that, I'm buying unlimited data for a month. Because sometimes the argument is when you start using the data, it's fast. You're enjoying it.
It's about getting finished.
Then it starts.
Exactly.
What's the technology or the...
All right, so unlimited. If you really want unlimited, as in unlimited, you have to go for a dedicated pipe. Okay. That is why it's expensive. And that is why dedicated is recommended for B2B. That is business to business. Or you, the person who is a heavy user. You know what you do, you really need dedicated. If you want your peace of mind, you go for that. So with that, if you are on 10 megabytes, it means that you get 10 megabytes up and down until the end of the month. Nothing changes.
It's fixed.
It's fixed. Okay. That's why we call it fixed data. Dedicated internet, we call it fixed data because it's fixed. Okay. But when you come to the unlimited we normally hear on our mobile phones especially, or our routers, okay, there's no telco who will give you unlimited as in unlimited. Then how they paid for their bills? When they say unlimited, it means that they are going to open their pipe to you.
So why are we told it's unlimited?
It's unlimited because they'll give you, let's say, they'll do some calculations in-house, technology-wise and finance-wise, and know that, oh, Lenny would cannot consume, let's say, 500 meg.
In a domestic setting.
Good. So they'll give you a 500 meg cap, hoping that
you won't use it.
Exactly.
But we go use it.
So when you are using and it's about finishing, because they don't want you to go off before the month ends, see, you have used a chunk of your data. So the little that is left, you survive on it until the end of the month. That is why it reduces. It throttles. That's the word. Thank you. You have some throttling in there, but you won't go off. But the experience will not be like.
See, must it well. So you just have to use your sense.
You have to.
Don't try to cheat.
So because you're also trying to cheat.
But
unlimited data.
How is it trying to cheat?
An example is you paid 300 cedis. You want to do unlimited. Seriously.
As opposed to
that's what we've been promised. You get.
I do not live in. You stay on until the month ends.
For the thing a consumer uses, watching TV, mobile phone, laptop, blah blah. The technicians know that this amount of data,
this is how much you need.
You can use.
Yes.
So for that purpose, you are unlimited in your experience.
That is it.
You understand? But the moment you finish paying 300 cedis for unlimited, you want to connect your.
I'm sorry, but let's argue it out.
Let me
unlimited. Give me unlimited.
Let me chop
But they're giving you unlimited.
Let me chop lawyer.
Let him finish.
You need to understand that the service provider, by the virtue of the name, is providing you a service based on your consumption needs, right? So you come to me as a domestic, 4-bedroom house, 2-bedroom apartment, 1 bedroom, it doesn't matter. Your consumer electronics appliances are your TV, maybe your smart devices, video game, mobile phone, laptop, maybe security system. There's a pool that the technicians know that these are the devices. They can tell you that CCTV remote access cannot chop more than this amount in a month.
Yes.
Laptop usage. Laptop usage cannot chop. Average laptop usage should not chop more than this a month. This, that. So they've been able to know that, okay, if I give Jay this 20 boxes of oranges, if Jay love oranges, in 30 days,
he shouldn't be able to finish.
Cannot eat 30 oranges.
But there's a possibility of getting a visitor.
Let him finish.
So you show me that I can't finish again.
Let him finish. There's a lot to discuss legally around that.
But I want to talk to you about these guys.
No, continue.
There's a lot to talk about legally around that publication. So you finish. Yeah, we actually finished.
That's why selling a product under false pretense.
That's why I'm telling.
Selling a product under false pretense.
That's why I'm telling. That's why I'm telling Olili that we don't read terms and conditions. Relax. So they know you cannot eat 5,000 oranges a month, but they've given you a key to the orange shed, which contains 5,000. Before you paid for unlimited, you're only eating 10 oranges.
Yes.
But because in your mind, you paid for oranges this month.
You want to start eating more.
Orange jollof, orange stew.
All right.
Then you go when you go and they reach some place and the caretaker come and say, Charlie, close that thing. You say they've cheated you. Okay. So it's within context. That's why if you really want unlimited.
I hope you know you're a brand and marketing guy.
Yes.
Okay, continue. I have a lot of questions for you.
So let me tell you something. So in unlimited, we normally say fair usage.
Yes. Which is in the terms and
it's there.
I've read it.
Fair usage.
Yeah. So wait, does that mean that the user now has to? The user now has to.
If you try and
structure how they use their
internet.
Yes,
because your fair usage is that you check your email, you watch your Netflix, you are on YouTube, maybe you download 1 or 2 things, you
then
go to
get
bed.
off.
But if because you paid unlimited, you can just queue uTorrent
and leave it
away 300 gig and you are asleep.
You are not being
That's not fair usage. Because you are on a shared system with other people.
But you paid.
There's a very big
usage, not to abuse
there's a big disparity between the end user of data and the provider of the data.
Yeah, that's right.
And it is as a result of lack of knowledge in
research.
Lack of research and knowledge in the space from the end user, what the end user needs to know to what is being provided. And one of the big challenges has been, if you ask people, they'll tell you that how I bought 20 megabytes right now, no, it's finished. Yes, there is the conversation about you did not understand the terms and conditions.
That's the data.
Yes,
the one that
the
finished
data.
early. We have different types.
Yeah.
If you buy unlimited, no matter what it takes, it will take you to the end of the month. But if you don't buy unlimited and you buy it in the gigs, that one is not unlimited. So if I buy 10 gig or 5 gig, that one you know
finish.
that it can finish. Yes. That one there. Unless they don't come, they will always communicate
but
to you.
But the use of that word unlimited to describe a service, it's like a clickbait.
Yeah.
You understand? To describe a service that has got a limited service.
You are forgetting the second part of the issue. Advertising, when you are done, always is terms and conditions apply. That's your voice.
No.
Relax, Tobo. Let me finish. No.
You cannot
finish. He was lying.
I'm just saying that. You and I have been doing a lot of.
I don't understand it.
Cyril, you and I have been doing a lot of communication for telcos. And if you listen to what these adverts tell you, compared to what the service in itself means, which is being buttressed with the points I'm making about what is in the terms and conditions.
I can tell you for a fact.
You cannot. No, hold on. You cannot tell me that. You can't tell me that I sell. You can't tell me that you sell blue shirts. I walk into your store and then you have T's and C's at the back somewhere, and I get there and then it's not shirts that's there. Hold on. It's not shirts that there, but short sleeves. T-shirts that there, but short sleeves. And tell me that, but it's all cap and I said shirt. So, listen, it is very important to communicate the unlimited, that it is not an unlimited service. It is actually a limited service. It is. In itself, it is a limited service. Because let me raise a point that when my friends come in and they start accessing the service and then I run out. And then you reduce my...
Unlimited, you never run out. You reduce
the
rate. It will take you to the end of the...
Can I answer now?
Yeah, but you're not letting me finish. I want to answer.
Finish.
I have
to finish.
Yes. If the service reduces in terms of speed, connectivity, because you said I have gone beyond fair usage, then I think there's also a bit of unfairness in what you communicated to me and had hidden clauses in there.
Okay. Are you finished?
You understand?
Because everyone has to be transparent,
yes,
as much as the user also has to
be transparent.
That fair usage. Everybody has to
you finish.
So in advertising, right?
That's why I didn't want him to go. Why you go there?
A sprinkle in advertising, a sprinkle of deception is used for creative elements. Yeah. Now, Red Bull gives you wings. Doesn't mean that when you finish drinking Red Bull, climb and jump.
No, it doesn't.
But let me be going. Let me go in.
Wide different advertising.
Coca-Cola says, "Follow me for happiness," or whatever. But if you sell Coke at a funeral, nobody will be laughing.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, people drink Coke at the funeral and laugh at the party.
Listen, let me finish. Let me finish. You say
finish.
I don't get it. Let me finish.
Finish.
What you are describing with the shirts is with something definite. It's product based. It's definite and finite, right? With the service, right, there are margins. That's why everybody can go to the same restaurant. Somebody will love it, somebody will hate it, but we can all agree that this is a blue shirt. Please, that's it. Internet is a service, right? So everybody's experience and usage will vary. Yeah. So the producer or the supplier of the internet already has that problem that Jay's definition of awesome internet with all his screens is totally different from Lenny's definition with just one phone. Yeah. So when Jay and Lenny say we want great internet, they are not talking about the same thing. Yeah. She maybe needs 2 gig. And her iPhone will work all day perfectly. You with all your console and thing, maybe you need 20 gig to get in this thing. So the supplier already has to solve that problem. So between the two of you, they share 50 gig. That if Lenny goes crazy, crash, you know, go use 15. Yeah. If Jay goes crazy, he will use 35. That is it. Right? But if both of you decide to go crazy and you start pulling 50 gig on your own, and he also starts pulling 100 gig on your own, then the system as is. Yeah. Then you call them a liar. Madam Rash, have I explained
it's true.
I won't talk again.
It's okay. Don't talk.
If you don't understand, go and watch the video. If you don't understand, go and watch the video.
Then the keyword there, before my next question, then the keyword there, unlimited, is a wrong use of the expression.
That it is unlimited to your expected consumption. But it's only when you choose to go beyond fair use.
You did not give me...
No, but do you agree with me that...
They are working with...
If you are paying for unlimited, it's unlimited. You can, no matter the situation, you use it until the end of a particular month.
But it starts to slow down.
But at least it throttles, but you still use it. So unlike someone who doesn't buy unlimited.
So, let me catch you slow. So
you can finish 10 gig right now and buy another one.
You employed me. and in my employment conversation with you, I said to you that I can do multiple things.
You can work under pressure.
And then it gets there, and then I'm failing, and then my CEO is asking, but you told me that, and I said, oh my gosh, in my TNCs, I started reducing protein.
But you didn't
read my TNCs. That is false communication.
So guys, that's why I mentioned that. If depending on your usage, and for me, from where I'm coming from, we used to be clear about that. I was in B2B anyway. I wasn't even selling unlimited. I was selling a dedicated pipe. And even with a dedicated pipe, there are different bandwidth or different speeds. So I'll tell you, what do you need it for? Oh, I have this number of staff. Are you a heavy user? Yes. We do this. We are a call center. You ask all these questions. Okay, with this, I think you need 100 meg. With this, I think you need XTM1. That's 310. I think that's what you need. Looking at what you do. Do you understand? Then if you refuse and you say, no, I know, but I want 50 meg for now, I will let you know that, yes, you will pay 50 meg. It will take you for the whole month. All right. That's the unlimited thing. But you will peak. Peaking means that you will struggle. It will get to a stage that you want to do something, you will not be able to do so. So I told you so. So in enterprise, that communication is always clear. Then when you are done, you sign a contract. Then whatever we agreed on will be in that contract. Because I sold you, let's say 100 meg, then you decided to take 50 meg.
A, B, C, D.
So when you start picking or having those issues, you see, so even though I'll give you 50 meg, you struggle. But it will take you to the end of the month.
Okay.
I think the challenge is the communication of whether you are receiving unlimited speed or unlimited data.
Yes.
But these are two different things, right?
Okay.
So if you're telling me you are selling unlimited data, like she said, then I can't come and fight you and say, hey, my unlimited data, my data
what
is
you didn't
finished.
sell to me was speed.
Exactly. So I think
yes.
So is there go and take it, but I've tied concrete to you.
You understand. So I think that is where the misconception is. When it's unlimited, we often think, oh, the speed, the data. I mean, the data definitely does not get finished until the month.
Yes.
But we are not understanding the throttling of the
and we are all already experiencing it.
Yes,
sometimes you can check your phone and you have 750 megabytes, which is good data, but nothing is working because your WhatsApp, your email, your Instagram, they are all fighting for that.
For that
750. So until you breach that threshold by bundling again, for everybody to get enough, your phone won't work.
Sometimes you can even have 2 gig, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. But put that 750 in some small phone. Okay. It's the fastest phone in Accra.
The phone, because the phone have its own apps that are running.
Okay.
That's not normally.
Thank you. I'm coming with other questions.
I wanted
okay,
to find out,
terms and conditions apply.
There are stories of, it's going to take maybe 5 weeks or more, months maybe, until the networks get back up on their strong feet.
Yes, the normal.
Exactly, regular network, connection. Is there a possibility that we can get it faster?
Yes, there could be a possibility. Okay, so normally what happens is that when a shunt fault happens, there's a cable cut undersea. What we don't know is that it will have to take a ship to go in there, proper ship, cruise ship to go in there before they are able to fix. So when this happens, what the telco do is to quickly get a ship that will be going towards that area. That is if they are able to tell the exact points. So it's very difficult. But if they are not able to tell the exact points, that is something else.
Voila.
Yes. But there's no way they can go in there to resolve the problem without a cruise ship. You need to go in there with a ship. And we all know that ships have time that they run in. So it's not the engine boat that we use to chill. No, this is a proper ship because you need like your staff, a proper vessel that have to go in there. So normally what they do is they will schedule. We know where you go to, so you go to that place to go and see, are you going to get any next available ship? I remember the last time something like this happened, we needed to get a vessel to go in there to go fix the issue. There was no vessel for that week. So you see how difficult. Maybe all the vessels are gone.
Right.
So now the vessel company will tell you when a vessel will be available. So what I know they normally do is that telcos do is, as I said, they collaborate, they work together. So you start getting redundancies from each other.
I was going to ask.
So what they do is that when they get the redundancy, we all know we have to all manage as a country. So if I work with company A, telco A, the telco A will sit with the technical expertise and the team, the commercial team. Then you bring all your customers together. And especially, normally, the customers that will prioritize more are the businesses. Yes, they pay you more.
They pay more.
They have the chunk of the capacities. So you bring them together and say, oh, maybe J Company Limited is 50 meg per the capacity we have now. What can we give J? Then we say, okay, let's give J 20 from your 100. Okay, let's give Cyril Company 2 meg. That's what we do, because that's all you have. Let's say you have 1,000 gig, you have to manage it. So you split it in bits among all your clients. So sometimes in this building, we'll see the internet, but it's not working. Because maybe the little that we have, somebody else is already using it, so it doesn't allow us. So it wouldn't normally work like your ideal situation. But the point is, like, sometimes let's manage the little we have. So that's what they normally do. So you saw some communication with Telecom saying that they've acquired more capacity of this.
Yeah.
I know we saw it. Airtel to go say, I got this capacity of this. So depending on the number of users you have on your network and the experience that your users will get. So if, let's say, I'm company A, the users I have on my network are not that huge. So if I get that redundancy capacity, they will have a better experience to another telco who has a huge database of users, because you need to manage, because you can't just allow everybody to go flat. So everybody have to manage in bits until the issue gets resolved. So yes, to your question, there's a tendency that they can resolve the issue on time, depending on what the issue is. And it can also go above the 5 weeks, depending on what the issue is. Because if they know where the shunt fault is, it's easy to just go with the vessel, locate it, and work on it, unfortunately. But if you don't know where the fault is, meaning the vessel have to go all the way, towing on that part of the cable to where the cable came from.
So it's a trip to Portugal,
basically. Yeah, so it's to Portugal. Then
and
you have
stop
to go
along the way,
all
maybe.
the way and be checking. But normally the easiest way is if you know where the fault is. All you need, the difficulty part is the vessel. If you have the vessel, you just go straight there, fix it.
Are there any technologies on the installation of the pipeline that may be sensors or something that can indicate a geolocation?
Definitely there's something, because when it happens, how would they know that there's a fiber cut?
Otherwise, unless you call
So normally what happens is that when it happens, it goes to the technology team right now. They'll start running. Then they'll go to the cable landing station team. They'll also check. Then later say, no, it's a shunt fault. Oh, it's a cable cut. It's a this. Then quickly, every telco will quickly send messages to their
I wanted to ask,
users.
The situation has necessitated a conversation about satellite internet services. There are some ISPs who are on satellites and offering these services. So maybe they were not affected by this. But I think recently the Minister of Communications, Esla, also did say that they are going to license satellite services, including Starlink. Now, I asked a question, I played the devil's advocate by asking a question about the licensing of technology like Starlink, because I'm reliably aware and I'm informed that some people are already using Starlink in this country.
They're already using it.
Yes, so it doesn't mean that those who are using it illegally, because when the minister says we need to license Starlink to operate, the question I was asking myself was, or I was asking the community was, why is such a technology needed to be licensed to operate in Ghana if I can directly just buy a device and just work it? Why? I'm talking about licensing.
Yes. So Olele, before I get to the licensing, the truth of the matter is that we already have satellite companies running in Ghana.
Okay.
Not as if we don't.
So
have.
Starlink is not a special.
No, not that. And I'll say it emphatically. We have satellite companies currently running in Ghana.
Okay.
It is two things. It's either I own an ISP.
Okay.
Then I have a relationship with a satellite or a VSAT company out there.
Okay.
But I have a license. So I'm allowed to sell satellites.
Like a local license?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have satellite operators in Ghana. The point is that satellite is expensive. It's extremely expensive.
Right.
That is why a lot of businesses are not connecting with VSATs. Not that we don't have satellite providers in Ghana. We have more than 3 to 4 satellite operators in Ghana as you and I speak.
Wow.
There's a bit that we should have noticed. Some banks were not really hit.
Yeah.
Some companies were not really hit because some of them have satellite as a backup. Because it's more expensive, so others don't want it.
So unless it's critical.
Unless it's critical. So what others have done, or some banks at their ATM point, you see that there's satellite there. So what that they run on the normal radio or fiber, when there's an issue as such, they'll just move. But a lot of organizations in Ghana don't want to spend on satellite.
So basically, as a consumer, as a regular consumer, should there even be a conversation about using satellite services? That means we are going to be paying more for data.
Yes, satellite is more expensive. And the other bit is that, as I mentioned, most of the satellite operators we currently have don't have licensing in Ghana. They don't want to have licensing in Ghana. All they wanted is to partner another telco in Ghana
and provide satellite
a service, and it's legally binding. You have the telco, you have the relationship with them. Okay. Then you do the work here.
So it's possible that even the MNOs are in partnership.
Oh no, some of the MNOs have partnership with satellites.
But they won't give that to us, the regular consumer.
No, they can give it to you. But as I'm saying, it's expensive.
Allow cash out.
Yes, satellite. Let's say if you want about roughly 20 gig or something on satellite, you can pay about 900 cedis.
Wow.
Or 800, but it will work. Satellite works. Let's ask ourselves, the vessels, the airline companies, what do they use? A satellite. They don't use radio and fiber. No, radio is very expensive.
So should we be excited about this whole Starlink? I think that maybe the excitement should be toned down a bit.
The point is that we already have satellite companies. So I believe the communication should be more, can you go for satellites or VSAT as an alternative while this goes on? But the communication is like, there's nothing like any satellite organization in Ghana until Starlink comes.
It's because Starlink is the only one that advertised B2C.
Okay. Yes, no, but the other satellites, there's B2C, isn't the cost?
But they don't make noise like that for us to hear.
They don't make noise because they are the minority. Everybody wants radio and fiber because it's far cheaper. Yeah. But see, the mistake we do as organizations are, I have a fiber link, then I go for radio as a backup, thinking I'm doing something. You see, but when my fiber goes off in an ideal situation, I can go to radio. But that one is normally local fiber cuts. Okay. So let's say we have fiber across our streets. Then maybe a huge truck is passing, then it cuts it. It's to us alone, or we those using that call. So my radio comes in as a backup. But when you have such magnitude of issues like this now, a shunt fault of this fault, whether you are on radio or fiber, you go off.
Okay, my last question, and then we can wrap up.
But with satellite, it's independent.
Okay, let me ask it just quickly. One last question.
I just want to just go back a little bit on the unlimited data thing. So when a company says subscribe to so and so package, we are giving you 20 gig for a month. Yeah. Why is it that the 20 gig does not take me to the month? It finishes before the month.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, it's the data. You are consuming it. It's like you have a loaf of bread. You bought a lot of bread for 1,500 cedis. Maybe I can take a month for instance, to finish my loaf of bread. Maybe you, within 2 seconds, you can finish a loaf of bread. So you bought that loaf of bread and I gave you. So that's why you have to subscribe for unlimited or dedicated. But
sometimes the data finishes before. Like, you know that you're not doing too much. Like today,
how would you know you're not doing too much? When I was coming
this morning, I said the person you're going to have this conversation. When you come this morning, someone said he subscribed to a particular data on a particular network. He went to bed, woke up, and the data was finished.
Yes. Did the phone was running in the background?
No, the phone was running. No.
But when you say the phone was
running, are running. The
background.
No, but you know sometimes these things happen and there's nothing running. It's just
your apps are closed.
You see, you confuse your user interface. Yeah. Right. With the device working.
Technology,
you think that you need to open Instagram and see your timeline before Instagram is working. That's the consumer.
So you're saying that when I go to bed, I need to put my phone on flight mode.
Yes, you can do that. That will help.
If you are using an Android, when you scroll down, it tells you the 5 apps are working in the background. So you have put it in your pocket. Now you have data bundle. Right? But Twitter is checking itself every 5 minutes in your back pocket. You understand? So as you are asleep, Netflix is updating your catalog.
We need a part 2.
You get what I'm saying?
So apps have to be off.
A lot of people don't even know how their devices work.
We need a part 2.
You understand?
With the Ghana Association of Data Users,
they are proud of
you see, consumers also need to educate themselves.
They have a part to play.
A part to play. You need to know. I know because I've complained before.
Whilst you are at that,
I also got educated the hard way.
I also want to tell you that when there are network trips, they don't tell us that there's a trip. So because you won't know your data usage. They go fit chop you easy, and I've experienced that. And who are you to complain? When you call, the person on the phone will tell you, sorry, buy more, and move on. Do they tell us? They don't tell us.
When clients ask,
unfortunately, because we don't have
how many
knowledge
clicks
in
it
these
is.
things. I'm coming because we don't have knowledge in these things. We are also one or the other cheated by some of these network operators.
Consumers need to
My last question, and then we are out of here, is that
someone living
this question is going to be dangerous.
You are living in a village and you have iPhone 15.
I don't forget. So,
what are you talking
about? A subscriber, a network that has got a lot of users. Aren't they supposed to be cheapening the use of the data to us? Yeah. As compared to a subscriber, a network that has got less users. Yeah. Because in that case, it looks clearly as
fallacy.
Let's wrap it up with that question. So the point is that that's entirely not true, Jay, because data is such that the higher the capacity, the cheaper the price. Okay, so if I have a lot of capacity, definitely I'll not be charged a lot, but the technology is still the same. I'll still have to pay for all those know-how. And when another telco also have its staff, its users aren't a lot, they will also still charge because they are still going through the same processes and they are paying. It doesn't change. The technology they go through to give us the services they are giving us is the same. Whether your organization is bigger or smaller, your users are more or less, you still pay. That's why it's difficult for those who have a lot of users to rather make it a little lower for us. It's difficult because the know-how, the people to work, if nothing at all, the people to work for them
that was
more.
declared by some of the telcos that have got high
have you seen the taxes they are paying to?
I said the profits. Forget tax. I said profit.
How can we forget tax?
Profit before tax.
Imagine your baba. Imagine your favorite baba.
And these profits after tax.
After tax. I'm talking after tax. Lenny, don't buy cereal. Let me place Mike. He's out of the show. We are finished. On that note, thank you. Thank you so much. Like let's say we need part 2 of this conversation.
Yeah, because we need to educate the consumer. We need to educate the consumer. There's a lot that the consumer should know, so that entirely is not the telco's fault.
Yes.
We need to also know, be educated, so we know how to go about when it comes to our data usage.
What I want us to do in our next conversation on this will be that we'll go and find the T's and C's of some of these telco services and try and understand it. Yes.
Very important.
Thank you very much for the rush for this conversation. We're back again tomorrow here. We have a lot of things happening this weekend, so make sure you don't miss out on Culture Daily Plus on 3Music TV. We out.